Hello everyone, welcome back to Solasta Crown of the Magister. Continuing my freshest Ironman Cataclysm run, we are back at the Goblin Caves. We were asked to find some version of Goblin writing. Here we are, Goblin culture. So, returning to this location where we killed a few enemies previously, but now there are what seem to be ogres, goblins up in the rafters, a wolf or two. So it's going to be a bigger fight, that is for sure. There are still these things overhead that I've not utilized in any capacity. But the question becomes, how do we try and instigate this fight? And where do we want to be when that fight kicks off? Because there are going to be goblins in the high ground, such as this guy. There's one over there as well. We're very unlikely to be able to climb up high, at least without ever being seen. Possibly maybe the rogue could make it, but on her own, she's not going to be doing a whole lot of damage. Now I'm wondering, from here, how protected would we be from the goblins further away, and if we might be able to kind of bring the fight to us, particularly with these two crates overhead, if we kind of split the difference between this wall and this wall. But then who do we want where? I guess Gothic and Pastel on this side, because we're going to want Kite up the front with his shield, and Faith is going to want to be sneak attacking where possible. But we're going to need line of sight for that. And then if they could come towards us, we'd have a little bit more control. And it seems to just be 5 enemies in total, which is not too bad, although I suspect these ogres at 200% health will present a rather much larger issue for us. We don't have line of sight from here. I wish we had some way of kind of various games have like throw a coin or whistle to get the attention of stuff. Okay, we can hit that guy over there. We just want to make sure we do it. I think when they were stood here, it showed the advantage symbol. But I guess with a sneak attack, it will still be... sorry, with a stealth unseen attacker, it will still be a sneak attack, which is kind of the priority. That guy runs fast and it scares me. Alright, so I'm going to wait for one of these guys to return to this left-hand side here, as they do their little patrols. And I hope to not die immediately. Come back down here. Like 5 more cells in this direction. Now I'm wondering if I could hit this when he turns around. It's unlikely, but it's worth a shot because the stalactites previously didn't injure us. Alright, that went well. 12 hit points. It looks like they've got at least 100 HP. And they have to climb on that now. So there's surprise. There's a sneak attack. And a 14 hits, which is not too bad. And we remain hidden, which is great. Let's take a couple of steps back just so that we're with Kite, so that if something attacks us, Kite can defend with his shield. And now Gothic. We do have full cover if we stand here. at least from anything in this general direction. And looks like we cannot reach that guy with a firebolt from here. Maybe we don't have line of sight quite there. Looks like we don't have line of sight from any of these steps, although it does look like we get full cover from here. So in that case, let's ready a ranged cantrip attack. They have surprise, surprise, which is wonderful, of course. Now, kite. We're probably not going to be doing too much at range. Although our range stats are a bit better this time round. And with a crossbow we should be able to make this shot. We cannot make this shot. Alright then. Challenge ability to deal 1d6 additional radiant damage on attacks which result in in which opponents have either natural, shapeshifting, or dark vision. The effect lasts for 1 minute. Let's pop that then. That's our action. Divine Favor or Shield of Faith. Let's give somebody some more AC. And we are concentrating on that. Then Pastel. Simple first move here for Pastel. It's going to be cast spell Bless. If I can ever find these things. And if we do it at the second level, we could bless everyone else. But I think just blessing these three will be fine for now. Anything to do as a bonus action, we don't need to light anything up. And these goblins with 66 HP just seems like so much. Right, now Faith can no longer get that shot. Do we need to step up to here for that shot? Is it because he's higher now? We have to pass through that rock? It's rather a pain, isn't it? So you're saying we do have line of sight if we take one further step down, apparently. I find that slightly confusing, but if I have line of sight, I have line of sight. No sneak attack on that one for some reason. We'll step back into some cover. Do we need cunning action for anything? I don't think so, but I will dash just so that we can get behind Kite here. Now, Gothic was holding a cantrip that did not go off. This is too far. So I think I'm just going to ready attack cantrip again from where we are. These guys are having to come down lower, which is good for us. It's going to be easier to hit them down here than it will be if they were still up on high. There's our readied action. 1 damage. So like 100 more of those, I guess. And the direwolf. And then this ogre. I'm starting to wonder if maybe we should have had more room to go back. Although if we came under this rock, I wonder how that would play out then. But for now, Kite is here. We have line of sight against somebody. Now, here's something I'm not sure of. If we fire our weapon... Excellent with the extra radiant damage. We can then swap to sword and board. Which means we can benefit from the defense for faith. Now, Pastel is currently concentrating. Calm an enemy. Concentration loss. Ah, we can't do that. And bless. Good to know. So we can't hold person either. So in that case, it's going to be a case of Guiding Bolt or cantrips. I'll spend a Guiding Bolt now. No, I won't. I'm going to have to move at the very least. And our line of sight options are not high. So from here we do have line of sight. And if we do a Guiding Bolt... Who is our priority here? We know that the Goblin Cutthroat only has 66 HP. I say only 66 HP, but that's how much they have. So if they have the least HP, they could be the fastest one for us to kill. But I think the Ogre and the Wolf present a higher threat. Who's going to have the lower AC, do I reckon? We don't know anything about these creatures yet. I think Ogres probably have low AC because they're quite bumbling. And we know we hit on a 14 earlier. Good. Decent rolls on that as well. Then we will step back. Back to the top of the order. Everyone's favourite thing, Faith steps to the front. And we will attack the one that... Oh, I should have Cunning Action hid before we came round, but it's fine. We'll attack the one where we have advantage so that we will get sneak attack.
Clumsy.
Step back to here, and now we can Cunning Action hide. Now, Gothic, do we have any reasonable AoE? Burning Hands and Thunderwave need them to be much closer. They're not going to have sleep. They're not going to fall asleep because they'll have far too many hit points for that. Which I really should have thought about before I learnt sleep, but it's too late for that now. So we can Scorching Ray for 4 attacks. Or I could attempt to hold person, although a humanoid you can see. The Goblin might be a humanoid. Enemy creature, a veteran Goblin. I expect an Ogre is not a humanoid, it would just be an Ogre. So let's just go with Scorching Ray. 4 times on this guy. 11, 6, and 5 fire damage is pretty good going. That guy's at half health. This guy's nearly at half health. We are making reasonably good moves. Now we'll step back into cover, leaving Kite out front. And then all of them will go. That guy's walking up from further behind. This guy's lumbering forwards.
My fault.
And currently, they have not had enough movement to get to us to start attacking yet, which is great. We're still benefiting from higher AC. Oh no, we're giving that to somebody else. But all of our attacks are doing radiant damage. I don't think a direwolf has dark vision, but we're going to attack the thing that's closest to us anyway. And we will smite.
Good.
Now, Pastel. We want to keep concentrating on our spell, so whilst we could get in for something like an inflict wounds, right now I would simply rather not. So, even though we'll lose the protection of Kite stepping back, I'm going to step back. And then I'm also going to Scorching Ray, only for 3 motes with them. And let's just go after the Ogre. I hope they don't get extra AC from being behind a friendly creature to them. Looks like it didn't matter too much. We nat 1'd on one of our attacks. Back up to Faith. Now, if Faith came here and attacked, she couldn't move away without incurring an attack of opportunity, which is important for what Gothic is going to attempt to do next. Unfortunately, we cannot hide, or at least we cannot hide and still move. So we're going to step back, and we're going to attack the Direwolf because they're engaged with Kite. We will get sneak attack damage if we hit. 13 does not hit. That was rude, Gothic. Alright, now we have the dangerous bit. We're going to push Gothic up to here. And then it's a choice between Thunderwave and Burning Hands. Thunderwave is a con save, 2d8 and push. Burning Hands is 3d6, save for half on a dex save. I think the Wolf will have higher dex, the Ogre will have higher con, but if I can push them back, I'd be happy with that. And so we can do that in a cube without hitting Kite, which is wonderful. And the Ogre gets pushed back hit for 11, the Direwolf for 5. Now if we move back, we too will take an opportunity attack, so let's not. That's a big whiff for them, which is wonderful. And another big whiff for them. Incredible. Here's our most injured Ogre, throwing something. What just happened? That javelin went right around the corner. Alright, they hit Kite. Kite's Shield of Faith has stopped concentrating. Kite's turn now. We are just going to attack the thing that we can see. And we will smite.
Well done.
Good damage. Pastel. I think we're going to heal Kite. What's our power? Challenge ability to engulf a visible enemy with within 6 cells with radiant damage, causing 1d8 radiant damage plus 2 per cleric level. Causes blinded condition for 1 minute, negated versus saving throw. I mean, blinded would be great for a while, but I might save it for the Ogre that has more HP. So for now, do we have our healing spells prepared? Inflict wounds, guiding bolt. No, we just have healing word, I guess. Ah, I should have spiritual weaponed ages ago. Alright, well, spiritual weapon first. We'll get that going. And then if we need to keep Kite up with what's the word? Healing word. Healing word is the word. We certainly can. Right. Sacred Flame. I'm going to go for the Ogre just because I expect them to have less dex on a dex save. Especially when rolling at disadvantage. That is 7 more damage, which is wonderful. And I'm going to park in just here behind Kite. That way we can get benefit of his shield on his next turn, perhaps. Faith. Just attack the wolf, please.
That's battle.
Excellent damage. So that guy's nearly dead. Now the temptation might be to run over here and then cunning action hide so that we can attack other creatures in a moment. And at least we would have full cover from other combatants from here. Now, Gothic. With the Direwolf at such low HP, I think Magic Missile is warranted. Question is, how many missiles do we commit to this of our 4? I think we can go 3. And then 1 extra one here. Excellent decision. And now we have an opportunity to move, which we will take because of the goblins out back. So we'll move to full cover here. They'll have to move around to us to hit us. Oh dear. Double oh dear. Shooting Kite while he's down. Please don't kill Kite while he's down. I don't understand how these death saving throw rolls are working out. Okay, Pastel. Ah, if we bonus action hit with this, we can't heal. We can heal Kite with a potion thing that we have on us. Right? Excellent hit. So we can, or we could, if we, let me just check. I need this screen. Spare the Dying as a spell. Touch a dying ally to stabilize them. So if we stabilize Kite, he stops rolling death saves and is unconscious. But what does that mean for attacks that hit him now? Will he just go to rolling death saves again? I wonder. Right, Faith is currently hidden, so can get a sneak attack against this guy if we can get line of sight. And it seems they've turned around to focus on the spiritual weapon, which is wonderful. So close. And I'll step back in to the more acute angle again. And again, with this ogre on such low HP, it's a pretty simple choice with Gothic to go with Magic Missile. We will put one in here, and we'll just start laying into this Goblin Cutthroat. You didn't die to 3 HP? I'm so mad. He's going to get a whole other turn he didn't need to have now. That is awful. Alright, that's hubris right there. These guys are still attacking Kite, although from range they should be attacking with disadvantage. 45 damage. And yet he's not taking death saves at the moment, and I don't understand these rules. Now we're back to 1 death save. Spiritual weapon, please hit this guy for 1.
Hey, that was mine.
Thank you ever so much. I wish Kite came after Pastel in the order. I really do. So he's just going to keep getting hit now. We are down 2 foes, which is great. Let's use our power. Herald of the Sun. We're going to need to close the gap a bit. How many tiles is it? 6. Within 6 cells. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. About here. Cast, power, Herald of the Sun. So they make the save, unfortunately. They have 6 damage. Faith still hidden, should be able to get sneak attack again. We just need a good line of sight. Bad rolling 2 1s on a d6, but we take what we can. Now, Gothic. We have a 2nd level spell slot and a 1st level spell slot left. I think if we can get line of sight against the Ogre, we're just going to plow in as much damage as we can to him because he's the hardest hitter. So it's going to be a Scorching Ray. Six, 5, 6, 8 from pairs of d6s is pretty good. Basically averages out to almost 7. And hitting on all 4 of them is very nice. Right, these guys are going to keep trying to shoot Kite. And failing to do so is wonderful. Here comes Mr. Ogre Man. Hits for 24. There's 2 instant death saves as I would have expected. Kite rolls a successful death save, so he didn't die that turn, which is always excellent. We have a choice now of trying to spiritual weapon this guy and killing him within our next 2 turns, or our next 2 actions, and then having somebody run in to heal with a potion. Or we can healing word and hope the others can kill the ogre, which might just give Kite an opportunity to escape. So we'll cast spell, healing word, Kite. That stabilizes him. Then we have a full action still. We can't cast a leveled spell because we just cast one, but we can use a cantrip. And with disadvantage on that, he misses for 8, which is great. Now, Faith. Kite is up, so that means this is going to be a sneak attack regardless. Excellent. You love to see it. We will just stay here and hidden. Now, Gothic is up. No need for magic missiles right now. We'll just stick with cantrips.
You have them now.
And a 9 on a d10 is wonderful. Gothic's going to come back to full cover. Then we're going to see if these 2 guys can hit Kite. That's 1 miss, which is wonderful. And that's another miss, because they're rolling with disadvantage because the target is prone. Now, I think we used half of our movement to get up. So I'm going to step to here because this has a full shield. So that should give us extra 5 AC. And we're going to lay on hands for healing. Let's do 13, so we've got 2 HP to get an ally up if we need to. We can move the spiritual weapon so long as Pastel has a line of sight to a foe to hit it with. We miss on a critical 1, but we can still use our cantrips. Goblin's going to have a higher dex save, unfortunately, but at disadvantage they do fail for 6 damage, which is wonderful. Going to step over just to make room for somebody else to stand there. Faith is currently hidden, and because they are hidden, they should get sneak attack here.
Perhaps
Very nice.
if you tried to be loud instead.
Then if we step back, we can cunning action hide because they don't have line of sight on us any longer. And Gothic comes back in for the cantrip, and I'm feeling much more comfortable about this fight now. So let's see how they do trying to attack us.
You're still in the fight, my friend.
Well, and that one is handy. It's a good thing we laid on hands. That's what's keeping us alive now. And now we do have enough movement to get back to full cover, so let's switch to a ranged attack. We lost our Channel Divinity. Very good.
Reaches out for you.
Because we were unconscious. Spiritual Weapon. We need to be able to see the thing we're hitting with Pastel, which is important. So we'll step out one, Spiritual Weapon, bonk this guy. And with a good cantrip, we should be able to deal with that. Helps if you don't try and spare the dying on your foes. 1 damage does not quite get there. It's alright. Faith knows what to do. Now, our to hit with this is +7. What's our to hit with Firebolt? It's not going to show me on this screen. High elf spells, +5 to hit. I'm really just wondering if I should bother trying to save an arrow. And since we have advantage on our attack, let's try and save an arrow. Very nice. Come back to cover. And we're just going to basically repeat that story with the last remaining foe. Unless we have line of sight with Gothic from here, which we do. So we can just start slinging cantrips. Is this slightly out of range for disadvantage? Disadvantage. Goblin Cutthroat is unlit outside of dark vision range. That's fine. We didn't spend anything on that anyway.
How tiresome.
And here is our Goblin pal. The question is, do we want to just get in there with Sword and Shield with Kite? I think yes, because we're going to have a full orbit ahead of us. So we'll smash. We miss on a 12. Spiritual Weapon is not going to get all the way back to hit this turn, but we'll move it back so that it's ready to hit next turn. And, I mean, Sacred Flame is working. Some days, apparently, it doesn't. There's one of them. Now, Faith, we can come in directly here and sneak attack with melee.
Well struck.
Very nice. And Gothic. What do we want? Faith is no longer blessed. Is it the end of this turn? Is that going to be 10 rounds? Because if it is, that flew by, even though we are gone a half hour into the session. Let's just Firebolt. Why overcomplicate things?
You like that?
Oh, we crit and everything for 18 damage. That's huge. Right, now they're going to go. They are disengaging. And who are they attacking from back here? Nobody. They're just running? Which is peculiar. Right, well, if you're just going to run, I'm just going to attack. Very badly. Bless is again over. Spiritual Weapon's just not going to get this far anymore. So let's attack with what we have. There's another crit. Lovely. Right. Faith. If Faith stands here, we can Cunning Action hide. And I left myself no movement to get out in order to be able to see our foe to attack them. So I feel slightly daft. Well then, let's cast True Strike on ourselves. Nope, we can't. It's not. That's not how that works. I'm thinking of a different cantrip. Gothic. Cast spell. Hit them where they hurt. That is not where they hurt. Now what are they doing? They're attacking Gothic. They can hit me this time. I'd rather save the spell slot. Right. Maybe they were just running from our spiritual weapon. And our crossbow bolts, apparently. Oh, man.
Next time.
Maybe not next time. Right, Faith is hidden. Faith has line of sight from here. Faith sneak attacks from the shadows. We move back. We hide. Right, Gothic, if you could kill this guy now, I'd be really grateful. That's
Try again.
a massive whiff. Right, let's get Gothic's cover, because he just got hit once. 15, probably not going to hit anyone. No. And we can close the gap here. Attack sword and board.
Nice move.
And again, we are alive. Let's collect our arrows and cash and stuff. Sure, we'll take a scimitar. Still debate in the comments about where you get the best value from the scavengers collecting stuff. Do I need 2 giant clubs? I do not. For 1 silver each. Now, the reason we're here is to find evidence of goblin writing. So, let's hope we can do that. Oh look, what's this? We found some piece of goblin writing. If we hop into the map, we can see that this basket and this basket are currently empty, so there is nothing to be gained from those. And we didn't kill any other enemies further afield, so that is all of the looting for the side quest done. We can step over back to the entrance, and we will probably start next session by just having a short rest. We'll get back our channel divinities, we can spend some hit die, and then we can assess our next move. Faith, you don't need to be cautious right now. Alright, well, thank you so much for watching. If you're enjoying the series, please do consider subscribing or hitting that like button. If you have any questions or comments, you can put them down below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.